Hi, I'm Will from AlphaWatch. Had an email in asking for me to talk about preemptive strikes, so that's what I'm going to do in this video. First of all, it's important to understand the breakdown of how an altercation happens. So first of all, you use situational awareness. You'll pick up on body language, or you'll get that gut feeling, so you can avoid the situation. If you can't avoid the situation and you end up in an altercation, use verbal de-escalation techniques to try diffusing that situation. If they're still intent on fighting you and you know that they're going to hit you, then you've got grounds for preemptive strike. And the reason we would preemptive strike is because if we don't and we're on the defensive and we're only waiting for a shot to come into us, it could be a jab or a straight, left hook, right hook, it could be left uppercut or right uppercut. It could be any of them sort of punches, it could be kicks, knees, headbutts, slap, there could be multiple opponents, they could grab you, they could shirt grab you, they could throw you in a headlock, they could bear hug you. You see, so we could be waiting on any of these things to happen before we react, and that's going to delay our response. So if you know that they're going to hit you, and it's only a matter of when and not if, then preemptive strike. There's a few ways you can preemptive strike. It's not just a one-hit wonder, so you're not just going to say strike him and then break the distance, but at the same time it's also important not to fully engage and stay in that zone too long. All you have to do is just YouTube a few fight CCTV videos. The guy that throws the first punch, if they engage too long, other people get involved. They don't have to be friends. There's a video I shared not too long ago where there's two guys having a scrap and one's pulling along and a separate group intervenes, starts smashing the guy who's defending himself. He stayed in the pocket too long. Do all you need to do to create distance and get away. I'll show you in a minute some preemptive strikes that are going to be effective for that. But as I say, first of all, I just wanted to talk about the reasoning behind preemptive strikes. So part of your preemptive strike as well can come from pushing and shoving. You see a lot of pushing and shoving before an actual altercation. So the reason I want to talk about this is because if you allow someone to push you, you're building their confidence up. So all you're doing is allowing them to build up before they throw that punch. So I would say one push is acceptable, because you could even preempt that first push. So if the push comes in, you can break it and strike. I've got a video on push defense. But I say you're allowed one push. So they push you, don't push back. They push you, you're still talking, you've got your fence out. If they come in again, that's when you can preemptive strike. But as I say, if you allow it to do them too much, it builds their confidence up, and then they're just going to start wailing in because they think they've got the upper hand. Talking about upper hands and building confidence, it's all part of the verbal de-escalation as well. So if someone's talking to you, more than likely they're going to be trying to build their confidence first. Otherwise they just hit you. So if we can't talk them down, you've got to have an escalation series, like a ladder of aggression. So you start off, try talking it down quite calmly. If you go in bawling, so you start shouting straight from the get-go, you're just gonna hit fire with fire and there's no resistance. You can't escalate from that. Same as if you remain placid all the way through. If you're always very passive, look, I don't want to fight, I'm not going to fight you, I'm not going to fight you, they'll just hit you because they think, oh, winner, he's not going to fight back, we'll smack him. So you've got to have, as I say, this ladder of aggression. So you start off quite calm, look, let's sort this out, I'll buy you a drink, to then escalate it if they're still carrying on. Look! Fucking warned you! Back off! And then you can escalate and build it up that way. So you need to be able to flick a switch and turn it on. Same with aggression. You can't always be passive with things. There comes a time when you've got to flick that switch and strike and release some aggression. Because if you don't flick that switch and release aggression, you're not going to be able to defend yourself. It's as easy as that. You could be the best martial artist in the world, you could be the best self-defense student or instructor in the world, but if you can't flick that switch and you can't act aggression into it, you're not going to defend yourself. Simple as that. Anyway, without further ado, let's crack on. I'll show you how to use a few preemptive strikes, what to do, how to link them up, and I'll talk a bit more. So we'll go meet Bob. For preemptive strikes, I say we don't want to stay in the pocket too long, so we're going to hit and disengage. So we're in our fence. Closest hand is going to be the closest weapon. So I go straight for the throat. I go for the eyes. I can hammer fist into the throat, or I can chop. We're then going to follow that up quite quickly. So we can chop and hammer fist. We can chop and palm heel. I quite like the chop, fires off quite quick. You can palm heel off the first one. You can do anything, but it's quick and concise. We don't want to start blasting away here and engaging too much, because another party could come in. As I say, it doesn't have to be his friends, it could be someone completely unrelated thinking that I'm just starting smashing this guy up, didn't know it's self-defense. So we're here, disengage, disengage. Do just enough, take the fight out of them to allow you to get away. So we're not going to be standing here boxing away, we're going to be here, fence is going to be up, strike fast, strike quick, follow up, break away, get away. And then when we get away, we also need to stand back and make sure someone else isn't going to come in. So we're not just going to take them down here and then casually walk away. We've got to have a good look around, make sure no one else is coming in. If someone is looking like they're steaming in, warn them, look, it's just self-defense. If they're still going to carry on through, then you have to deal with that, obviously. But you have to make sure that, you know, if you're welling on the guy, even if it's self-defense, and you're welling on him, and a passerby just sees that, they're going to think that you're the aggressor, and they might want to try to do something about it. So it's important. Strike, disengage. I'd say really important with the hands. If our hands are down, we haven't got defense. But not only that, if I want to preemptive strike him, I have to lift my hands out and then engage. It's not as quick, it's not as good. We have to obviously outbeat them on the reaction. So with my hands being here, look mate, I don't want any trouble. I'll go buy you a drink. Let's talk about this. And you're in. So your hands are there, they're ready. You're talking. You're not like this. Just open your hands and turn them in as well. So you've got to have your palms facing them. If my palms are in, it still looks like I'm in a fighting stance. But as soon as I'm here, no, I don't have any trouble. And then it's in. Yeah. Or you can engage with your hammer fists, your throat strikes. Yeah. And as I say, then we can just beat our way in. But hands here, talking to them. Oh, I'm in trouble. Then quick shots. Disengage. Hope that makes sense. Any questions? Drop a comment below and don't forget to subscribe.